We're broadcasting from the Middle Tennessee Electric Studios.
Visit MTE.com.
This is the WGNS Action Line. Talking Rutherford County news
since 1947.
The WGNS Action Line. Now, your host, Scott Walker.
With us in studio, we have got Brandon Wagner, Vice President of Strategy with Middle Tennessee Electric. And then also with us from MTSU, we have Dr. Jack Villanova, Assistant Professor of Physics and Associate Director of Research for MTSU's Q-Rise Center. How are both of y'all doing this morning?
Doing well, thanks.
Doing good.
Tell us first about Q-Rise. What is that?
So it's the Quantum Research and Interdisciplinary Science and Education Center. We do research within quantum physics. It's an ordinary center within the university, and we are working on federally funded and state-funded research in quantum physics, quantum materials, and now we're on the cusp of developing a quantum network.
Anything having to do with quantum research is fascinating. How does that relate to Middle Tennessee Electric?
Well, we're actually working with MTSU on a few fronts there for how that works, but specifically one of the things that we're working on is how can we use this newest computing technology, networking, sensing, to make our grid as reliable as possible and cost-effective as possible.
Dr. Villanova, how could this help electricity and electricity usage among those who live in Middle Tennessee?
Great question. So we're working with MTE and Qubit Engineering on a specific problem related to battery storage. And so the electricity is a hard problem. And so MTE has the wherewithal and the know-how to come up with significant problems in terms of reliability. If you have a very difficult problem that has massive amounts of data, you want to be able to comb through that and use that effectively to predict the response of the electric structure in the future. And so this helps you to be more reliable. It helps you to marshal your resources in the most effective directions, and it provides cheaper electricity for consumers.
And the battery storage issue, that relates directly to using things like solar power and solar energy, I guess, and storing that electricity, if you would, for use for customers, right?
It can couple with solar, but these particular batteries, we have 32 megawatts of batteries that are going to be coming online in the next month or two, and they're separated in 4 different locations on our grid. They're not coupled with solar. What they do is we're wanting to charge them and discharge them at the most cost-effective times. So what happens is we've got a specific time where we know that TVA is going to be at the most expensive, but we don't know exactly when that's going to be. It's going to be 1 hour each month, and so that's why we're using some of these quantum tools to be able to predict that, because these batteries should have a very quick return on investment. For the utility world, a 5-year ROI is very unheard of. We look like that's very achievable by pushing down pressure on our rates. But the success of that's going to be heavily dependent on how effectively we charge and discharge them.
And these are not like your typical car batteries, right?
No, they're about maybe a little bit less than the size of a semi-trailer. They're located on property that we own close to our substations, and these batteries are actually what's called grid forming, and so they're strong enough that if we were to lose a TVA feed in one of these locations, these should be able to pick up load and serve our members even without a TVA feed coming in until either those batteries are drained or we get the restoration from TVA.
And you said how many megawatts per battery?
It's about 2 megawatts per battery, and what we have 4 areas that are going to have 4 of those batteries together, so we have about 8 megawatts in 4 different locations.
And how many, I guess, break it down so that we can better understand, how many homes would that typically serve?
Oh, I'm so bad at that. These should probably serve, typical home use is about 1,500 kWh a year, and this is going to have 64 megawatt hours, so several thousand homes is what these can power. But it's really more about how do we it's going to be a shorter duration power than power for a long time. These are what's called a 2-hour battery. They're designed for 2 hours, and so we can slow them down, but we can't speed them up. There'll be sometimes we'll slow them down to be able to effectively get that ROI piece. And what's interesting about our wholesale rate structure that Dr. Villanova knows is that our rates can be they can go up and down sometimes season to season, but if our load profile is in such a way, we can actually have a lower cost per megawatt hour even with higher rates. And so even a small change can have a high impact in number of dollars per year.
And just because listeners are saying, man, my electric bill was so high for the past month, it's not because you guys raised rates. 'Cause I know that you mentioned rates, but it's not because you raised rates. That's totally separate subject because of how hot it's been outside.
It is. We like to call it high consumption season. I know that a lot of folks think of it as high bill season, but it's high consumption season usually. Our rates have not increase. We haven't had a rate increase in several years. TVA has not increased our rates in several years. So what's happening though is it's very hot outside, and my air conditioner at home, I've noticed just this past weekend has been running nonstop, and it cannot catch up.
Yeah.
That's part. One of the things we like to do is point our folks towards levelized billing to kind of smooth out those curves, and it's a 12-month rolling average to help with those high consumption months. But what we're doing on our end is affordability is and reliability are top for us, so we know that our costs are going up. And when we look at transformer costs, pole costs, wire costs, all of those are going up. We're looking at how do we leverage technology and be opportunistic about it to combat those high costs.
Now, I'm curious, these batteries that you're talking about, how much are they per battery? I mean, roughly how expensive are these large batteries?
I don't know off the top of my head, but what I can tell you is that one thing that's really interesting that makes these such an interesting technology for us is that we get a chance to file a direct pay tax credit. This is something that NRECA, National Co-op Association, has worked on so that we can get some of the tax advantages through a direct payment, which helps us out significantly. So our finance team and accounting team handle all of that part of it. What I look at is just more of how do we know what the price signals are from TVA to make sure we dispatch them at the appropriate time.
But these are major battery. I mean, even a millionaire out there wouldn't go out and buy one to power his home, you know.
Oh, right. Yes, sorry. No, these are what we call them distribution scale batteries. So yes, they're in the millions of dollar range for sure. Not something you would get like a power wall in your home or anything like that. It's designed to carry a feeder if we have to.
And I'm sure there's much smaller batteries that you could buy to live off the grid to capture solar power. There's other ways to do it than to go that route, which would be mega expensive.
Certainly, and the in-home batteries. There's new technologies coming out there. We're even looking at those kinds of things. How do we partner with folks to help with those kinds of advantages they want to take? Opportunities they want to take advantage of, how can we work together with them? But in-home batteries are certainly more costly for the homeowner. If we can get the benefit out of such a thing at a distribution scale and benefit the whole system, that's what we're trying to achieve.
And then Dr. Villanova, how is quantum research helping out in this area? I mean, are you figuring out new ways to provide power? What is it that you're doing?
Good question. So personally, I'm a quantum materials person, and so I work on discovering materials that could have major impact in future devices, but we need to work with industry to come up with the fundamental problems that they need solved. And so you can use quantum computing to solve large optimization problems. You can use quantum algorithms to take your intractable problem that you have in real life and map it to a quantum computer so that it is solvable. Quantum sensing allows us to detect very minute dilutions in the air or in water or something like that. So there are a lot of different angles where there can be economic impact from quantum research. And that's actually the major direction where the federal and state governments are going right now. They want to take things out of the lab, go to market, and that's what this collaboration with MTE represents.
And if I'm not mistaken, you've been on the air before talking about some of the research projects. And the research is fascinating. I mean, break it down to us so that those listening can understand what some of the research is that you guys have done.
Sure. So now we have a push to create a quantum network at MTSU. And so Dr. Lee in the department is going to be working on producing that quantum network that allows communication between different places, at least at the initial stage across the university, that is secure and takes advantage of properties of the quantum wave function, which we probably shouldn't necessarily get into. And then quantum algorithms are what I was meaning in terms of mapping the problem from real life onto a quantum computer. And that's partly related to what MTE and qubit engineering will be doing in terms of a quantum optimization problem for the grid that will allow you to say, I have some kind of problem in one sector of the grid. What is the most effective way to take care of that problem and reroute power? And then another detail within MTSU physics. So I'm working on quantum spin liquids. We've mentioned that before. And ultramagnets. So it's a new form of magnetism that could possibly be used in devices and transmission of information in kind of your ordinary computer circuit.
It is fascinating to hear about this stuff, but this is being researched here locally. I mean, we're not talking about a lab in Oak Ridge where you know, the nuclear, everything is nuclear. I mean, we're talking about local.
That's right. So we have a partnership with Oak Ridge, and it's always good to collaborate with other universities, other kinds of scientific powerhouses, and industry, our great partners at MTE. But locally, we have a major quantum footprint at MTSU now.
And so now bringing in Middle Tennessee Electric to the equation, what does that mean? I mean, are you going to actually be able to provide real life working scenarios where you can actually power these batteries?
So the fact that they have real life data on their grid is so critical in training, say, a machine learning model that allows you to be able to anticipate when is there going to be the cheapest way to recharge those batteries, and a machine learning model that predicts whether you're going to be able to address some kind of grid fidelity issue. That real life quality is what's critical, and that's what the federal funders are also starting to look at now. I think MTSU and MTE have this shared vision eventually for a quantum technology hub where we're able to train future researchers, train quantum engineers that will be able to interact with their respective businesses. And fundamentally, when we eventually connect a quantum network to MTE itself, that's going to be a real life kind of thing, not just in the lab where you connect two rooms, but you have to cross Murfreesboro.
Yeah. Now, the batteries are already in place. They're already on the ground, and they're already receiving power, storing power, right?
They're currently under commission right now, so that takes a little while, the wiring and then the commissioning from the manufacturer.
So they will be active in the near future?
They'll be active in, yes, this fall, and winter is a good time for us. As you know, we have a lot of electrical heat strip load that comes online. This will help us significantly power that strip heat by batteries and be a little more cost effective on how we purchase that specific couple of hours of power from TVA. And you know, we're really fortunate to have MTSU so close and have such a good relationship with them. They're one of the things we've just learned is that, you know, we've known this for a while, but we're learning it more every day, is how they're a leader in that space in quantum research, and we want to be a leader in the utility space. So a lot of the things that we're doing through this specific project, we hope that we can actually roll out to every other LPC in the Valley. And if we can help them solve cost-effective power usage, that's going to help the whole Valley with increasing energy costs, with capacity, and all of those things. So we're excited that this is actually has the potential to scale way beyond our area throughout the whole state.
And do we have an idea of when some of the new ideas from MTSU will be able to put into place, like actually working?
Oh, well, so the collaboration with MTE and Qubit Engineering has a 12-week timeline. So we're supposed to have results on the machine learning side and the quantum algorithm side within just a few months. The quantum network at MTSU is going to take on the order of, say, 8 to 10 months to build, and then it will be quite useful immediately. We already have a squeezed light facility at MTSU to do quantum sensing research. Dr. Lee just finished that over the summer. He was working really hard. And academics don't really actually take the summer off. Yeah.
So where can people learn more details about all this?
Thanks for asking. Yeah, so our website is Quantum at MTSU, so it's quantum.mtsu.edu, and you can just look at our latest news articles there. Also, MTSU News, of course, will periodically show what's happening at quantum and within physics generally.
So 12 weeks from now, a working model for Middle Tennessee Electric.
Yes.
That's wild. That's going to be interesting, and it'll be interesting to find out, how it's being used and how it's working.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, I'm just saying we're really excited. I mean, this is a chance that we've been working on the battery procurement part for over a year, so we're not used to moving this fast. So now we're really at the point where we're going to be able to start measuring and seeing how are we significantly impacting reliability, affordability, safety, and outstanding member service. Every project we do, we want to look for how do we improve those 4 metrics. So we should have some very good measurable things to talk about soon.
Was it hard to find the batteries, or was it just a timely process for a company to build the batteries?
It was a little bit of both. We did an RFI, and we had to learn a little bit about what's the best battery, what's the best relationship with a vendor, and there's different financing ways of doing it, and so there was a lot of evaluation of responses to the bid. But then once we found what we wanted, it was really more of there's specific ways we need to go about the installation to make sure that we qualify for the tax credit payment and that sort of thing. So that there's a lot of learning curve a little bit. We have some familiarity with batteries, but this was a little bit different scale, and with the financial benefits, we wanted to make sure we took a little extra time to do it just right.
And electricity is changing as we know it. I mean, it's literally changing overnight.
Yeah, I was telling, I guess it was out in the hallway there, I've been in the strategy group at MTE for about 8.5 years now. And our CEO, 8.5 years ago, had this vision. He said, I want us to be opportunistic about the changes of our industry. How do we leverage those changes to benefit our members' lives? And at the time, I didn't know what changes he meant. But now, look back 8 years, whoa, what a world of change. And so he saw it, I think, really before everybody else. And we're fortunate to be able to have a group over at MTE that's focused on these changes and how to leverage them.
And the CEO of MTE, Chris Jones, he's been there. I mean, he's seen major changes in his time because he's been there, I bet, for over 30 years? I mean, not as CEO,
right.
But prior to CEO even. He's been there for probably over 30 years.
Been there a long, long time, and been in the CEO role, I think, 14 years.
Yeah.
So he's recognized as a leader amongst all of our peers in the Valley and amongst TVA and others, and certainly well-deserved.
Great thing about him, he's just a regular, down-to-earth guy, too, easy to talk to.
That's right.
So I'm sure it makes it a lot easier.
Oh, yeah. It's rewarding, and those of us at MTE, we feel a lot of purpose in what we do. We feel called to bring our best every day to serve our members.
And again, we've been talking about quantum research being done here locally at MTSU and their relationship with Middle Tennessee Electric. And with us today, Dr. Jack Villanova, Assistant Professor of Physics and Associate Director of Research for MTSU's, and do they call it Q-Rise?
That's exactly right.
Okay, so Q-Rise Center. And then Brandon Wagner, Vice President of Strategy with Middle Tennessee Electric, and we appreciate y'all joining us today.
Thank you.
The Action Line on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at WGNSradio.com. On air, online, and on the phone. You can listen to us anywhere. News Radio WGNS is Rutherford County's place to talk.
I'm a single mom, and as you can imagine, it's a fight sometimes just to get out the door. But when I need new tires or something's wrong with my car, I need to head to someone I can trust. I go to Tire World.
Tire World, we keep your family rolling.
Tire World, locally owned and operated.
For home restoration at a price you can afford, trust the professionals at Farrah Construction to get the job done on time and within your budget. Farrah Construction can remodel your home or can update your kitchen, bath, or other room. I'm Ron Hall. If you can dream it, Farrah Construction can turn it into reality. Call Farrah Construction at 615-893-6120. Shop local. Let our family business help you. Farrah Construction Company.